and welcome to Channel 44. Welcome to our business news segment live here on Channel 44. I am Masiga Shegusembatia together with Bill Clayton and Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. Bill Clayton will be taking us through our local news update. Bill.
A very good evening to our esteemed viewers of the best name in television, Channel 44. To the first story of our business news today, the East African community has received $1.4 million for visibility study on a key section of the northern transport corridor linking Kenya to Uganda. The funding is from the African Development Bank and is to be used to conduct visibility studies on the 256 kilometers conduct from multinational Kisumu, Kisan, Busia to Malaba, Busitema to Busia Expressway project. The other business story I have for you is Uganda living and working in the in the United States have expressed a willingness to support government efforts under the Tax-Free African Growth and Opportunity Act. Representatives of Uganda's in diaspora leaders have from America asked for support such as capacity building, access to affordable finance and improvement in air cargo transport to the United States to increase their participation in the African Growth and Opportunity Act. They requested Uganda Development Bank to set up an affordable and easy to access export fund to support those interested in exporting products. The African Growth and Opportunity Act offers over 6,400 products duty-free to quota-free access to the U.S. market. Uganda is one of the 38 African countries eligible for duty-free and quota-free access to the U.S. market under the AOGA. In other news, the Permanent Secretary and Secretary for the Treasury in the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Ramadan Ngobi, has urged the East African Revenue Authority Commissioner General to work hard and improve on the domestic revenue collection. Ngobi made the remarks while officially opening the 50th East African Revenue Authority Commissioners General Meeting in Kampala, where he stressed that digital transformation and use of advanced technologies can play a critical role in the improvement of tax mobilization. He further noted that Uganda is still lagging behind when it comes to the revenue collection due to some challenges, saying that Uganda's main target is to increase its domestic revenue collection up to 18% from the previous 14% domestic revenue collection. East Africa member states have the capacity of raising their country's revenue collection, but they have had challenges, amongst which the COVID pandemic outbreak and the global economic crisis that hit the land. The 50th East African Revenue Authority Commissioners General Meeting will be concluded tomorrow at Serena Chigo Hotel, where all members believe the use of digital system in the revenue collection and technology will be pivotal in enhancing the domestic revenue mobilization. Currently, Kenya and Rwanda are the best performing countries in the region in terms of revenue. Let's see that story by Kato Dennis.
But like other revenue authority, we are operating and we are collecting taxes in unprecedented times marked by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and increasing commodity prices and high fuel costs caused by the Russia-Ukraine war. Now, these circumstances, as you know, call for revenue authorities to increase on their efficiency and reduce the cost of doing business. Digital transformation, that is information technology, and data analytics rank among the most important areas where we as RRA are investing to increase on the efficiency of collecting taxes.
Ebitongole byonna ebikuŋŋaanya omusolo mu kitundu kyaffe muno ekya East Africa ensi zino omukaaga ezikola East African Community, Kenya, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania ne South Sudan. Omusolo gwe tukuŋŋaanya n'okugeraageranya n'obunene bw'ebyenfuna bwaffe n'engeri ebyenfuna bibadde bikulamu emyaka gino egiwedde ekyali wansiko, nti ebitundutundu bakuŋŋaanya ebitundutundu ebitawera 18 bonna nga region. Wano mu Uganda tukyali ku bitundutundu nga 14, ekyo tuzze tukibagamba nga twagala okwongeza okulaba nti at least tukuŋŋaanya ebitundutundu 18 ku buli 100. Ensi ezimu nga Kenya ne Rwanda ezo naddala ebbiri ezo zigezezzaako nnyo okutumbula, naye era olaba nti nazo zikyalina olugendo luwanvu.
Now we'll go straight into our international news update, business news update. The president of the World Bank will step down from his post in June, leaving the organization almost a year before his term was due to end. David Malpass announced his decision on social media without providing a specific reason for his departure. Mr. Malpass was part of President Trump's 2016 election team. The peak of former U.S. President Donald Trump, he has been criticized as climate change denier. Last year, the White House rebuked him after he said he did not know if fossil fuels were driving climate change. He later apologized for the remarks. More than 200 flights were cancelled at Frankfurt Airport after construction work damaged broadband cables and caused check-in and boarding problems for German airline Lufthansa. The airline said all of its systems were now back up. Earlier yesterday, thousands of passengers were stranded as their flights were cancelled or delayed across the world. The airline expects flights at Frankfurt to return to normal by today. The company said engineering works on a railway line mistakenly cut a bundle of cables in Frankfurt on Tuesday. In New York, a federal judge has released names of 2 people who co-signed with Bankman-Fried's $250 million bail deal, which allowed him to be released on house arrest while he awaits a trial on federal fraud and conspiracy charges. In documents made public yesterday afternoon, the court revealed that Larry Kramer, a former dean of Stanford's law school, and Andreas Pepke, a Stanford computer scientist, each signed on as guarantors. Kramer and Pepke signed bonds worth $500,000 and $200,000 respectively. Bankman-Fried's parents, both Stanford law professors, also guarantors, and used their Palo Alto, California home to secure their bond. In a statement to the press, Kramer described Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried as close friends since the mid-90s. He added that he had no business dealings or interest in this matter other than to help a loyal and steadfast friend. Major computer chip equipment maker ASML says a former employee in China stole information about its technology. The Dutch firm says it has since reported the breach to authorities in Netherlands and the United States. However, the company added that it does not believe in the misappropriation, that the misappropriation is material to their business. ASML is one of the most important firms in the global microchip supply chain. It makes machines that produce the world's most advanced chips. Chips or semiconductors, which are used to power everything from mobile phones to military hardware, are at the center of a bitter dispute between the US and China. Elsewhere, Nissan is recalling more than 400,000 old SUV, van and pickup models in the United States because the Nissan badge on the steering wheel can break apart or detach when the airbag inflates. Vehicle airbags inflate with explosive force in a crash, and in some of these vehicles the round Nissan logo or pieces from it can become dangerous projectiles. Nissan is aware of 4 injuries allegedly related to this issue, according to a letter the automaker sent to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The issue is thought to exist on just 0.3% of the recalled vehicles. Owners of the recalled models will be asked to bring their vehicle to a Nissan dealer to have the parts inspected, though the automaker is still working on the fix. The logo emblem, which is on the front of the steering wheel on button, is part of an airbag assembly produced by Nissan supplier Autoliv, which used badges from a supply chain, a second supplier that was not fully identified. According to Nissan, investigation reported the badges were apparently produced improperly, causing them to weaken with age and sometimes develop cracks. The models involved in the recall are 2008 through 2011 Nissan Titan and Frontier pickups and Frontier Xterra, Pathfinder and Armada SUVs, and 2008 and 2009 Quest minivans. People with models that may be involved are being asked to visit the NHTSA.gov to see if their vehicle is among those being recalled. And still in the world of automobile, Ford recently stopped production on the electric F-150 Lightning pickup because of a possible battery problem. A Ford spokesman now says a return to production could take a few weeks. The potential issue was discovered during the automaker's pre-delivery vehicle inspections, according to Ford spokesman Emma Berg in an emailed statement. Ford did not provide any information about what the battery-related issue might be and its possible cause or potential consequences. The pause in production and delivery does not apply to trucks that are already at dealerships or to trucks already with customers. No issues have been reported with trucks that are already in customer hands, according to the producer. Ford has sold 18,000 Lightning pickups since production started in the spring of 2022. In New Delhi, Indian tax officials continued their search of the BBC offices in the New Delhi and Mumbai for the third consecutive day. Two sources with knowledge of the matter told the press weeks after the country banned a documentary from the British broadcaster that was critical of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's alleged role in the deadly riots more than 20 years ago. BBC employees have been told not to disclose information about the searches, and a spokesperson for the broadcaster said it was cooperating with the authorities. Some staff members were asked to remain at the offices overnight on Tuesday, but the offices are now open for people to enter and leave as needed. In New York, Airbnb shares posted their biggest one-day gain in trading yesterday after the home rental service posted its first annual profit and forecast a sunny travel outlook in 2023 and an uptick in listings. The company reported it earning $1.9 billion in 2022 compared to a $352 million loss last year. The fact that it did not report a profit was the surprise, but the result was better than expected. Fourth quarter earnings of $319 million were far higher than the $184 million forecast by analysts surveyed by Refinitiv. It was the forecast from the company about the strength of the travel markets that was a major factor driving shares higher. The company said it expects first quarter revenue of between $1.75 billion and $1.82 billion, up from $1.5 billion in the year prior. Bill.
Welcome from that news business update. We hope to see you any other time, or can sign out. Mercy Sembatia.
Thank you for watching Channel 44. We appreciate a lot. Well, I remind you that we are having our revival service tonight. This being a Wednesday, come and join us and come and see how God is delivering people here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. There's going to be dream interpretation. We are having special encounters with the Holy Spirit here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. There are deliverance sessions. There are healing services. There are dream interpretation. So if you're having a dream that is bothering you, pass by the Miracle Center and Pastor Robert Kanja will be ministering. Great news is coming up next at 6 p.m. with our local Luganda news desk. Stay tuned to Channel 44. And up next is the Big Tunes program with DJs Nick D and Kush. Stay tuned.